What's going on, everybody? Jhow here, and in this Apex Legends video, we're going to talk about the best characters in Apex Legends. We're also going to talk about the pros and cons of when they might actually be better and when they might actually be worse, some of the OP characters, and some of the characters who, let's admit, are just not that good. We're going to rate them from basically the best to the worst, or somewhere in between. So let's get into it. Basically, standing at the top of the heap is Lifeline. Just due to her passives alone of reviving knockdown teammates faster while protected by a shield wall, also using healing items faster, already makes Lifeline a great team and individual character. Her early, mid, and late game are all amazing because of this. The tactical, getting the heal for your team, is strong at any stage of the game. Her ultimate brings down a care package, which can give you some nice loot along the way. Couple that with the fact that her healing items, you just can skirmish with somebody, hop behind a structure, and heal up fast enough generally to be able to go back and fight again, makes Lifeline an insane hero. Look, feed all the accelerants to this character. Lifeline is regarded by many to be one of the best characters in the game. We've got a couple that are a close second, and maybe depending on your playstyle would be a first, but Lifeline is insane in the game currently and is the best or one of the best characters. When we continue down the top tier of the Apex Legends characters, you can't ignore Wraith. Wraith is a very strong character. The fact that you get that voice that warns you when that danger is coming nearby, that's information. That's tactical information to allow you to prepare for a fight. She's really strong from the early, mid, to the late game. Her tactical, to be able to phase shift out, yeah, there's a little stream behind you, but it allows you to get to safety. Unless you're out in the open, generally that gives you those few seconds of time or space, just anything to get away from the fight. Also, her ultimate, the portal. The portal's super strong when you use it as a team. The enemy can use it, but setting this up ahead of time, making the sick plays for your team are all really impactful. The 1v1 potential between the portal play, between your tactical play, makes Wraith a very strong character. Speaking of strong, Bangalore is right up there near the top. Bangalore getting that movement speed whenever she's shot at makes her very potent when it comes to skirmishing 1v1s or just getting the heck out of dodge. Getting the smoke down can also give you cover. It can hurt you at times, which is why I don't have this rated as perfect, because, hey, look, if you pop smoke down in front of your team and they don't have the right gear to be able to see through it, or you're not a Bloodhound that's popped an ultimate, it could end up hurting you. But it does so much to protect you, to deny vision. Again, tactical information is so good. Bangalore, though, because of her passive, makes her an insane hero from early, mid, to late game. Her ult is okay. It's a zoning ult. It can do some damage, and it can help you in certain situations. But overall, Bangalore, still one of the absolute best characters in Apex Legends. Now, we can't forget about Bloodhound, because Bloodhound is also at the top. And Bloodhound, seeing the tracks left behind by foes when you get in an area, is another more, hey, I have tactical information. Getting information in any game where you need to have the element of surprise, you need to be first, can allow you to trade out more favorably in so many situations. Bloodhound does that. You also have your tactical. Now, the enemy team can see when they're scanned, and you get a snapshot. You don't get the full duration, but you get a snapshot. The range isn't crazy, which is why I think it can be somewhat limited, but overall, Bloodhound seems to be one of the best. Now, when it comes to 1v1ing, Bloodhound has vision from the tactical. You can see the footsteps, you can see all kinds of information, but when you pop your ultimate, Bloodhound is one of the best 1v1 heroes by far, just due to the fact that you can move faster. You can trade out with not just one, but potentially multiple people as Bloodhound. It's a pretty long duration. So as Bloodhound, that ultimate can take your 1v1 potential from a 4 out of 5 to basically a 6 out of 5. That's how strong it is. So Bloodhound still up there with the other ones that we mentioned, like the Wraith, like the Bangalore. Bloodhound, you can interchange those names at any stage of the game. Bloodhound just so strong. Now we go basically towards the next tier of our characters, and it kind of starts with Pathfinder. Pathfinder is one of those characters where we've seen sick plays using your own grapple, just using your own tactical to whip around areas, get to key areas. Look, the highlights out there are insane, but I don't think that's for everybody. I also don't think that Pathfinder is super strong just because of that. His early game potential is kind of meh. To get to high ground and get around and maybe get into a fight or get out of danger is there. Doesn't really hold a lot of value. I feel late game, there are plays in certain situations where it will be good. But in terms of consistency, it's not at the top. His tactical is okay just for the mobility. His team potential with his ultimate, it's basically around his ult. His ult is more just for getting around the map. Setting up plays, kinda. But what we've seen from the ult is more just getting to and from point A to point B quicker. You can get to the high ground and you can give that to your team, but I don't think that Pathfinder is incredibly strong. Look, for you Pathfinder mains out there, you'll argue like crazy, and I won't deny the fact that Pathfinder has a lot of tips that you can use to make Pathfinder strong. I just think that it requires too much in terms of consistency versus the other characters. Speaking of consistency, the one thing that is consistent is how much bamboozling you will do with Mirage. You're going to be pressing your Q button pretty much all game. If tactical information is one thing that you need, Mirage can help do that with his bamboozle. Now, a lot of people are picking up on how to spot the bamboozle, but if they fire at it, which most people tend to do, you can send it into a room early, you can send it around a corner, you can send it down the middle of the road. If somebody shoots at it, now all of a sudden you have that information available to you. That is what Mirage's greatest strength is. The problem is, he also has what many consider to be the worst ultimate in the game. You drop down clones that do nothing, you go invisible, you're unable to do anything. You can't cancel it, you just disappear. And that might be good for getting to safety, but overall, that doesn't really do anything at all. But look, Mirage, he's fun. I love playing this character. You can bamboozle for days, and if you're not bamboozling, then you're not playing this character right. Have fun out there with Mirage, but he's a step down from our top tier. It doesn't matter what order our last two characters are in, but we'll start with Gibraltar. Gibraltar is a step down from our previous tier, and I think Gibraltar, look, the big boys are in trouble in this game. Gibraltar getting the gun sight, the gun shield, does help. I think that's one thing that you can trade out more favorably, but I don't think it really carries him to the next level. His dome, if you're putting your dome down, it's generally in defense of something. Rarely is it an offensive dome. And if you're putting it down in defense, then the enemy team now knows exactly where you're at. They're going to be coming for you. If you want to heal up in that bubble, you better hope that they don't come in looking for you. It can ward off some things, but you're also shining a giant beacon saying, here's where I am. Look, I like Gibraltar. He's fun. His quips are there. But he just doesn't bring the punch. His ultimate is okay. It's kind of like Bangalore's. You just put it down. It can be a zoning ult. You can use your dome to protect against ultimates, by the way, and grenades. But other than that, Gibraltar, he's not mobile in that sense, and that's a problem in this game that requires a lot. Look, super late game, Gibraltar dome plus his ultimate, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this is his moment to shine. But in terms of the rest of the game, not so much.
Got him.
Look, if you're a Caustic main, more power to you. Some of the plays out there on Reddit and Twitter with Caustic plays in the gas chambers are some of the most legendary plays we've seen so far. I love them. I watch every single one of them because watching the team panic, not figuring out how to deal with the Caustic is hilarious. I absolutely love Caustic mains because of those plays. But because this game is a lot of run and gun, a lot of not staying in one area and moving to the next, Caustic suffers because of that. If you get super late game, you can say, all right, now this is where Caustic shines. I'm holed up. There's no way they can make it through here. They either have to shoot through these because you can shoot the traps at the bottom to deactivate them, or they're going to have to trigger them, and then that gives me hit markers. So I know that the enemy is coming. Because of that, Caustic does have super late game potential. But in terms of everything else he brings to the table, it's pretty bad. There's potential updates that will come to some of the characters. There's going to be new characters that are coming, so we'll keep an eye on those. If you want to be up to date with all those, make sure and subscribe because I'll be keeping up with a lot of Apex Legends content as it goes on. I'd appreciate you guys along for that ride. Special shout out to the patrons who allow me to continue to do the YouTube and Twitch and bring you guys all of these contents. Let me know what you think about the rankings, and look, if you're a main of one of these characters, then you're definitely going to have some tips along the way that will say, hey, look, this character is probably better because of this, or they're worse because of that. And look, I'm not going to argue with you. I play a lot of characters just so I can experiment and get footage and bring you guys videos, but for these characters, it seems like these are the strongest. You look at every competitive thing out there, and we see who's at the top and who's not. Anyways, let me know what you think below. I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, happy hunting. See you again.